The Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship is brought to you in association with Homestyle Property Solutions. Welcome along to Last Lap. We're at Brands Hatch for round 9 of the BRSCC Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship. Round 10 from Alton Park in the second half of the programme. Got a chance to look around this fabulous paddock. This is one of the longest established championships in the UK and the most successful, especially for lady drivers. 2 lady champions over the last 2 seasons. Mel Healy in 2010 and the 2012 champion was Emma Karwarski, who's back with us today.
Emma, current champion here at Brands Hatch, but I believe you've had a few problems with the car.
Yes, unfortunately, out in free practice today, I was driving it around and the engine just completely died. I actually had a red flag out as well, so that upset a few people who were testing. We've checked it over and it will not be racing, unfortunately, today.
Okay, let's just go back slightly. I mean, you won last year's championship, so how was last season?
Last season was amazing. I've never experienced anything quite like it. Everybody who is in the championship, they treat you as an equal, so it's no male-female divide. But I certainly did show them what a female can do, and I think in the end it was 7 out of 8 races that I won, and that meant I won the championship at Silverstone, even though I had a flat tyre.
Now, tell me a little bit about your history. What have you done before as regards to racing?
Well, I've been racing for several years now. Last year was the first time I've ever won the championship, but we have, with my partner, actually won the Tramontina Team Challenge in Auto Italia, which was a very exciting championship because it was a reverse grid with everything Italian in it. So it was one way of learning the track and learning your skill.
So Luther, more used to seeing you on the football field. How come you're involved in motorsport?
I've been a big motor racing fan from very young, and also used to do a bit of mechanic stuff with my dad. That's where I first started to get interested in cars. So the opportunity came when I was playing to actually do a race with Vauxhall many moons ago. So I did that in one of their it wasn't a touring car, it was one of the support races in a Vectra. And that really told me, you've got to do more of this. And so now that I don't play or have anything much to do with football now, I've decided to start my own team, Team 48. And we take into the track now to develop the car and bring youngsters into motorsport that normally wouldn't get an opportunity to do. We do work at the moment with Southgate and Barnet College, Homestyle, with one of our supporters. We've got Oakdale as well. They've all come on board because they like the project, what we're doing with the youngsters, which is creating opportunities for them. So it's really fantastic.
Tom, first season in the championship. How's it going for you so far?
Yeah, really well. Enjoying it. Still finding my feet, getting faster, I like to think. Not so well today, but yeah, really good.
Now, qualifying, I believe you start 9th on the grid for this race?
Yeah, 9th on the grid. So it hasn't been the best qualifying for me. Practice went a lot better, but I think that's probably less pressure. People are trying less. I just need to get on it in the race and pull something out of the bag, I think.
Now, I believe this is your first time at Brands Hatch in competitive racing, so how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I know the circuit now. It's just a matter of getting the lines right and just getting into a good rhythm. Because you've got such a small circuit, you can do more laps and find the pace and get it right. That's the advantage of it. Let's just hope I can do it in the race.
Tom's distinctive orange car lines up 18th on the grid, 9th in class. It's a multi-class championship. This is the view from Anthony George, car number 10. The man from Diss in Norfolk lines up 5th on the grid. And that's the Class B pole position. You can see him there on the inside of row 3. Robin Eyre Maunsell just beside him. But pole position going to Adi Hawkins with Neil Smith alongside. It's an all Class A1 front row. On the second row, Chris Snowden, the A2 pole. Next to him is the Class C pole of Roger Evans. And as you mentioned, Anthony George, 5th on the grid. Pole in Class B, Robin Eyre Maunsell alongside. Chris Finch is the Class E pole position man. He starts 10th in car number 66. The other class represented today, the invitation class, Vince Proto running in the invitations in a Fiat Uno. So the car's on the grid and ready for their 20-minute race. Away they go. It's a great start. Anthony George not away too quick. Chris Finch touching him, and Anthony George is into the wall. That's not the start we wanted from our onboard cameras. Oh, hard lines, Anthony. We're on board with Tom Eastwood going around Paddock Hill Bend, one of the most fearsome corners in racing, and off. Well, we've got one car off already, so problems, two non-finishers already in, I think, the first lap. As we look at 27, James Thomas, the man from Nebworth in the yellow car going through. This is another one of the quick lady races, Sarah Heels, with our onboard camera. Sarah was third in the championship last year. It was a very quick start by Neil Smith. He's just been passed by the black 33, Alfa 33, number 98 of Adi Hawkins, who goes through. A lot of scrapping, of course, in Class E. Tom Herbert there in 17 ahead of Chris Healy, dad of Mel Healy, the 2010 champion I mentioned in the run-up. Through goes 79, David Messenger, and this is the view from David's car, 41-year-old from Oxford. So along the straight we go, and there's a problem there. It looks to me like out of the race we've got James Ford in his 156. So James Ford, second in the championship. That's going to be a little bit of a dent in his championship chances. There's a lot to tell you about the BRSCC Alpha Shop Championship. 5 classes. I think we're going to get a safety car. So you've got Class A1 and A2. They're for modified cars. A1 for the over 2 litres. Class B, modified productions up to 3 litre. Class C, productions 2 litre to 3.2. Class D, not represented today, is production up to 2 litre, and Class E, the standard production class, the 2 litre 4-cylinder 16-valve twin spark engine. The championship's run by Graham Heels, who's taken over from Michael Lindsay this year. Long-standing and well-respected man, Michael Lindsay, who's still involved in the organisational side of things with the championship. As we look at Sarah Heels leading Andy Inman, a keen battle going on in Class E at the moment. What else do I need to tell you? Well, in terms of the championship, the drivers you need to watch out for today: Roger Evans, Neil Smith, James Ford. Not a great start for him. Anthony George is or was up there in the championship as well and leading Class B. So there is Neil Smith in car number 97, who's raced in Class E and also in A1 this weekend. And the championship points, of course, that you score points in whatever class you race in, and those add together for the overall championship scores, with the opportunity for a driver to drop his or her worst 3 scores, which enables you to have a weekend off or have a couple of DNFs. But at the moment it's Adi Hawkins out front from Neil Smith in second place, both Class A1. So those guys coming down from Druids. This is the view from Neil Smith, losing a little bit of ground on Adi Hawkins at the moment. The gap in qualifying was 0.4 of a second between the two. 79, David Messenger running in Class E, trying to close down on Keith Waite, one of the Class A1 cars. Keith, who lives in Elstree, married for 19 years with 2 children, and here we go, back on board with Tom Eastwood, who's enjoying his race at the moment, but you can see how frenetic things are, and that is a big problem for 27. Off goes James Thomas, the Nebworth-based driver, running 4th in the championship coming into this round, or 4th in Class E. Neil Smith, James Ford, Andy Inman, the front runners in Class E at the moment. Roger Evans goes through in 51. Class C runner, followed by Robin Eyre Maunsell in car number 60, ex-Roots Group Works Rally driver, the last of the Works Rally drivers for the Chrysler Roots Group, 72 years of age, incredible, and still pedals the car real well. As we go back to Adi Hawkins out front, this is the view from Andy. As you can see, it's anything but a smooth ride around Brands Hatch. It's a real roller coaster ride on the Indy circuit, and the drivers absolutely love the place. So back down the order, John Griffiths in 6, he's in Class A1, and coming under pressure from Chris Finch in 66. Remember Chris racing in single-seaters quite a few years ago. Paul Plant next to him and chasing him hard. Paul in the 22 car comes from Copthorne, 28 years of age, and the 2009 champion, the last man to win the overall championship. And Paul having a look at Chris Finch. This is Chris's second outing of the season. His first round was at Snetterton, round 3 of the championship. The championship, as well as providing a very good mix of cars, so healthy to see. There's so much one-make racing these days that having a one manufacturer championship split into classes gives us a really good diversity of cars, as you can see. And also, Graham Hill's championship coordinator giving the ladies and gentlemen of the championship a really good mix of races in terms of a few double header weekends, some single header weekends as well, depending on where the circuits go. So it's a good championship to come into. And at the moment, the strongest class, Class E. We're on board with 65 Tom Eastwood, as we said, qualified in 9th place and dicing for 6th position at the moment in this class. Up across the line they go here on the Indy circuit once again. Down into Paddock Hill Bend, you can see now Adi Hawkins starting to cut his way through the field. And he will quite naturally expect in the modified car to deal with the productions pretty quick. 65 is Tom Eastwood, there he is in the 145. Up ahead of him Tom Herbert, and Adi Hawkins slices his way through. The race leader got a little bit of ground over Neil Smith at the moment, passes the 79 car of David Messenger. We saw an onboard from David earlier on. There you can see the second place car coming through. So great start to round 9 here at Brands Hatch. Join us after the break for the conclusion. Welcome back to Brands Hatch, round 9 of the BRSCC Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship. And the race leader is Adi Hawkins. We're watching the car in second place, Neil Smith in his 156 World Touring car. Size through on the inside of Chris Healy. So he's making up positions through the traffic. The multi-class structure of the Alfa Romeo Championship, meaning that the modified cars have to employ a little bit of racecraft from time to time as they come through the slower cars. There's a little bit of a sideways moment going on in front of Tom Eastwood. Tom's having a good run. Through goes Chris Healy in 62, followed by 17 Tom Herbert. The Class E standard production class, the best supported this year and arguably therefore the hardest one to win. The man who's running in A1 second place, Neil Smith, actually started off the year with 6 straight wins in Class E, Neil Smith, and it looks like he might be in with a shout of taking the overall win here today, in which case he will maintain his points challenge on Roger Evans, the man who leads Class C and leads the championship overall. Roger has also had some races in Class A1. He started off the season in Class A1, had 3 wins on the bounce, including 2 fastest laps. Double header at Silverstone, and a single header at Snetterton in round 3. This is the view though from the 2 cars squabbling over the lead and there's a problem there for 88. That's Vincent Dubois, Class C, who disappears. That's going to take the pressure off Roger Evans. So Roger Evans could be on for a maximum here. Now if 2 cars are starting, there's slightly less points in the offing. Two starters, it's 18 points for a win, 16 points for second place. And this is the view from Paul Plant, the 2009 champion. Neil Smith incidentally was champion in 2008 and 2004. Anthony George, who we saw at the start of the programme, champion in 2005 and 2002. And at some stage we should get to have a look at Chris Snowden, car number 12. In fact, we've just seen him, Chris Snowden. In car number 12 has got a problem. Another former champion, 1994 and 95 champion, Chris Snowden, a very well respected car preparation expert, runs in the Sports 2000 Championship as well, lives in Emsworth, but it looks like he's going to be going home to Emsworth, a disappointed man today. The point I was making about champions is that this particular competition has real staying power. The drivers that come into it stay with it for a long time. It's that kind of environment. It's friendly, it's good, close racing on track. As we look at Chris Finch in 66, still leading over Paul Plant. Alfa 156 versus 147. The 156 has the upper hand at the moment Up across the line goes Chris Finch. Another local driver. Comes from Reigate in Surrey. And he's been put under big pressure by Paul Plant at the moment. These two clear of the third place car. David Messenger running third in class at the moment from Tom Herbert. Then Chris Healy and Tom Eastwood. So down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Nice thing to note from the results, I've commentated on quite a few circuit races and club racing events this year, and all you tend to get here at Brands Hatch is penalties for drivers exceeding track limits. I'm very pleased to say that nobody in the Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship has suffered the wrath of the officials with regard to exceeding circuit limits, and that tells you that the guys and girls listen to the officials, and that's real good driving standards from the championship. As we go back to the race leader, Ady Hawkins, car number 98. This is only his second outing of the season, raced in the Snetterton double-header. 2 wins, 2 fastest laps for him there. Fastest lap at the moment in A1 is the second place man Neil Smith, who has certainly improved on his qualifying performance. Remember, he was 4 tenths down in qualifying, and we're quite a way through the race now, very much into the second half of it, and Neil Smith won't be shaken off. So the 2 key players in the overall championship, Roger Evans, who's raced in Class A1 and Class C, and Neil Smith in Class E. As you can see, the race leader still having to deal with the backmarker traffic. Past David Peddy in the purple and yellow car. He's come all the way from Aberdeen, the 27-year-old, enjoying his race. Down in 13th place at the moment. Neil Smith working his way through the track. Look how quickly he goes through. The modified to production difference is absolutely stunning. So the modified drivers, as we go back and look at Robin Eyre Maunsell running in 4th place, and he is leading Class B at the moment. The modified production's up to 3 litres, so good racing for Robin. Remember, 72 years of age. Back on board with Ady Hawkins, signing his way through the traffic. Not only have you got to be a goal, and a little bit of a moment there for Neil Smith, who kicks up the dirt. He was lucky not to carry straight on, but that glorious looking 97 car gets back on track, and the fight will continue as we go back to 62. Chris Healy, 17 ahead of him is Tom Herbert. Ady Hawkins coming up amongst those, and Healy. Now, was there contact between the two? But he's around. It's a half spin. He'll collect it all up, I think, and rejoin. Look how much momentum he's lost. Cars coming past. The race leaders scything their way through the traffic. Ady Hawkins manages to continue to weave his way through the traffic. Incredibly, hasn't lost too much time on Neil Smith, who's still behind him. Now, what I was saying here is that you've got to have eyes in the back of your head as well, not only as a front runner, but also in the standard class, because these modified cars, you saw how quickly Neil Smith went past David Peddy. It's such a big difference in performance, particularly on braking, going down into Graham Hill Bend. This is where they are now. So driver awareness has been absolutely superb, and we're not picking up any issues at all from the clerk of the course. That's the key point there, which the lead car of Ady Hawkins goes through, where cars tend to get told off about runoff areas down the bottom of Graham Hill. But up into clearways, it's Ady Hawkins, still not the fastest man on track. It's the chaser Neil Smith in the red 156. Here we go, on board with him. Through Clark Curve, onto the Brabham Straight, still chasing. Hawkins it is that leads, up across the line once again. Good dry conditions for this. Third place is Roger Evans, he is leading Class C. Robin Eyre Maunsell leading Class B in 4th place. Then it's John Griffiths 5th at the moment in Class A1. So the leaders continue to chip away at these back markers. It's absolutely relentless for them. It means that even if you've got a quick modified car, you've still got to think about racecraft. Paul Plant gets past. Now, where is the class leader? There he is, Chris Finch in Class E. Is lapped once again, so he is now 2 laps down on the modified car, which we would fully expect. And now the Class E boys behind the 2 black cars, the 156 to 147, can renew their battle. Although, to be fair, it looks like Chris Finch has got the advantage at the moment. He's got the fastest lap as well, a 59.044. So Ady Hawkins still working his way through the field in 98, and Neil Smith cuts his way through into Druids, and then down the Hill into Graham Hill bend. Sarah Heels is in front there in 16th place, the green 47 car. Class C champion from last year as well. And through goes Neil Smith. Makes it through. Vince Proto in the Fiat Uno in the invitation class in the mix. That's John Griffiths being passed. So John Griffiths, the 5th place man, has been passed by the race leader. Griffiths running 3rd in Class A1. He's passed by Neil Smith. That's how quick these boys are. They are through and up across the line once again and onto the last lap here at Brands Hatch. What superb stuff from these guys. David Messenger in 17th, 3rd at the moment in Class E, and up the inside is Tom Herbert trying to go up the inside, getting all crossed up. Great race between these two. Meanwhile, half a lap or so ahead of them, plus the laps that they put in over the earlier part of the race, Adi Hawkins still leads the race. We go back and pick up Roger Evans there in car 51, leading Class C and dicing with Tom Eastwood, but Bear across the line to take the win. His 3rd win in a row. He won both races at the doubleheader last time out. He wins here at Brands Hatch. Adi Hawkins, congratulations to him. The door open, a wave to the crowd and the marshals here, and here comes his 2nd place man, Neil Smith, who kept him honest, let's be honest, through that race. Adi Hawkins takes the win here at Brands Hatch from Neil Smith. Neil getting the fastest lap. Roger Evans wins Class C. 4th goes to the Class B winner, Robin Eyre Maunsell. 5th place going to John Griffiths in car number 6. And 6th place, the Class E winner, Chris Finch from Paul Plant and Tom Herbert.
Pole position and a 1st place. Not a bad race for you?
Yep, no, it was good. Neil's always a hard man to beat, and he got a better start than me. I always have to be careful to start because of gearbox issues, and but we finished. So tyres went off at the end. I was struggling towards the end, but it's my 2nd time out this year, 2 wins, so it's good.
A good record so far. Batter markers probably didn't really help you towards the latter part of that race.
Some of them you can kind of use them for your advantage if you can get through before you get to the corner. They're then in the apex for Neil when he has to get around them. So some of them are an advantage. Some of them are a disadvantage. It just depends how the traffic falls. I think they fell quite well for me today.
Started 2nd, finished 2nd. Exciting race for you?
Yeah, it's very good. Really enjoyed it. A couple of Larry moments. There was a couple of times on the first lap when I got the jump at the start, and then Adi got past me on the way into Surtees. And he just sort of went sideways as we came into clearways, and I could have so easily have just spun him round, but I was a gentleman. I lifted out of it, and it was a good race. We had a good old battle.
Roger, what an exciting race. Tell us about it from your point of view.
Yeah, it was good. I was concentrating on my class battle, which I could see the car behind me. He was probably about 6 car lengths behind me for quite a lot of the race, and then he disappeared. So I think he might have dropped out. I think so. I was just concentrating on getting a good lap, and just concentrating on keeping it all tidy and performing. Getting to the end really.
And now the cars go back to their home garages and get refettled for our visit to Alton Park in Cheshire, a similarly challenging venue. Join us after the break for round 10 of the championship. The Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship is brought to you in association with TrofeoCars.com. Welcome along to Alton Park. The championship resumes with round 10 here in Cheshire, running on the full international circuit. 2.692 miles is the challenge ahead for the drivers, and we've got a good turnout of cars. We're down with the championship leader in the paddock.
So with the Alfa Romeo Championship leader then, Roger Evans. Roger,
Hiya.
It's quite an exciting championship, this one, is it? It's certainly good to look at, isn't it?
Yes, it's very good, very competitive. Yes, we're going well. Very pleased with progress at the moment.
Now, you're starting 3rd on the grid today, but you're leading the championship, but you're in a Class C car. Now, tell us how that works.
Well, it's all about the fastest cars out there, and today we haven't got the very fastest ones, but we have got some quite quick cars, But this with its 3.2 engine, it goes reasonably fast in a straight line. So we can catch on to the back of them a bit.
So down here with one of the Class E competitors, Sarah Heels.
Hello.
Sarah, it's quite a competitive class, isn't it, Class E?
It is. I'd like to be more competitive in it, to be honest. Having only recently rejoined Class E, coming back from Class C last season and the season before. But yes, very competitive. I'm quite near the back of the field, if not at the back of the field, though.
And this is a particular championship that's very much a family affair for you guys, isn't it?
Yes, my brother Graham is the coordinator. He started racing in 1989. My husband started in 1990 and he's also out in Class E against me this afternoon. And I started in 2004, so I'm the relative newcomer, but 9 seasons later.
So what is the policy when you and your husband go wheel to wheel out on circuit? Do you have to give way or do you take no prisoners at all?
He takes no prisoners, I give way. I think that's the right way.
Oh, you surely should get your foot in there every now and then?
He's faster than me. I'd like to say I could keep up with him, but I can't, if I'm honest.
So the man on pole position for the race today is Guy Hale. Fantastic performance in the qualifying, wasn't it?
Well, it was okay. I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, I kept my eyes closed and it worked out quite well. Yeah.
Is there nothing more satisfying then than cruising this car through Cascades?
It takes a bit of beating. I won't say it's better than sex because my wife's in the caravan, but it's not bad.
Fair play to you. So in the class, you're obviously at the top of the field, but in the overall championship, you're running 10th, despite the fact you're in a Class A car. How does that work?
I've missed half of the meetings because of business commitments and man flu, so it's just one of those things. I've only done half the races.
So when you go wheel to wheel with drivers in similar cars and with similar attitudes to all those Alfa Romeos, is it kind of like being on cloud nine?
Well, if you've met them, obviously not. It's a bit like waiting to be stabbed, to be fair. But no, it's a good championship. The driving is relatively clean, not too many chieftain tanks in it, and it's good fun. Yeah.
No shortage of characters and indeed banter in the paddock, and no shortage of smoke on track at the moment. And that, I think, is Tom Eastwood, who has got a bit of a problem. That's not the way to start it. Let's have a look at the grid then. Pole position, Guy Hale. Clive Hodgkin is on his outside. He's the Class B pole. Then Roger Evans, Class C pole, starts third. Chris Snowden for A2 is fourth. Class E, first runner is Neil Smith. Of course, we saw him running in Class A1 at Brands, and he has jumped back into Class E, takes the pole position from James Ford, Andy Inman and Martin Jones. Luther Blissett, 17th, and at the back of the field, we're getting ready for the start. It's Guy Hale on pole position. Clive Hodgkin alongside. Hodgkin gets through the gears a little bit quicker. Coming up from the second row is Roger Evans, who very neatly and deftly threads his way through into lead position. Clive Hodgkin second. Gareth Hale's dropped back. Chris Snowden up into third. 53 Graham Seeger in the red GTV. I think he's fifth place. Martin Jones goes all over the place in yellow 38, and his missus is going to have a look at trying to pass him on the inside. Sarah Heels, his missus, of course, the lady we spoke to in the interviews. There is Chris Snowden in number 12 as they go down Cascades for the first time. In fact, they're going along Lakeside and up towards Island Bend and into Shell Oil's corner. A long run. What a great start from Roger Evans, championship leader. So Roger there. Snowden, Chris Snowden in fourth place. Clive Hodgkin. Is Snowden slowing up? And there's a little tap on the back of Snowden's car there as he goes through Shell Oils. He's definitely got a problem. So he will now run down towards Britain's the chicane that slows them up on the run up to Hilltop. And that is a big problem, isn't it, for Chris Snowden, who is going to be out of it. More smoke from the Alfas here at Alton Park. And Chris Snowden, the long trip from Emsworth in West Sussex, ends in a retirement. This is a single header as well, so he's going to be very, very disappointed about that. Robin Eyre Maunsell we're looking at running in third place at the moment from Ray Foley, the GTV, fourth position, followed by Graham Seeger in 53. Another smart GTV. This is the view from Ray Foley's car, fourth place. Robin Eyre Maunsell, the 72-year-old, up ahead of him, proving that age is absolutely no barrier to racing, and we've got a very keen mix. Probably, I would say, the biggest age range anywhere in UK racing. It's that welcoming, the club, and I'm open to offers of people telling me otherwise, but I'm pretty sure that it's the biggest age range. So Robin leading Ray Foley at the moment. Robin second in Class B, just the 2 entries in Class B, and as we said in the Brands Hatch race, you get slightly less points if there are less runners in, but if you've got 3 or more runners in the class, it's 20 points for a win. Additional points for pole and fastest lap, so Guy Hale, Clive Hodgkin, Chris Snowden will get a point. He'll take away a point from here for fastest lap, and you drop the worst 3 scores of the championship, so it's the opportunity to have the odd duff day. As we look at Ray Foley still there, leading Graham Seeger at the moment, and as we said before, not only is it a big age range, but the drivers in the championship really do tend to stick with it. And drivers like Graham Seeger, I remember commentating on when I was working at the circuits and had the pleasure of commentating on the Alfa Romeo Championship back then. But this championship continues to evolve and attract new drivers. Now Martin's recovered, isn't he? Martin Jones in yellow. This is the onboard view from Martin, so after that little bit of an off on the first corner, got himself back on track. Martin running, as indeed his wife Sarah does, in Class E. Neil Smith leading that at the moment from James Ford. So back we go. The GTV's involved in a very good battle. Ray Foley at the moment there from Graham Seeger, both running in Class C. Production 2 litre to 3.2, very closely matched, which is great to see. And Neil Smith, as we said, back in Class E, which is where Sarah Heels is racing, in car number 47. Sarah trying to hunt down David Peddy in the number 8 car. Peddy in the 145, Sarah in the 147. And back up towards the front we go. So Robin Eyre Maunsell running in second place, and down the inside Graham Seeger makes a move, tries to look down the inside as they come through Lodge Corner, down through Deer Leap. So Ray Foley hangs on to it at the moment. These guys, of course, also trying to get on the case of Robin Eyre Maunsell. We drop back and see Neil Smith. Here he is, the race leader for Class E, ahead of James Ford in red. James had a slightly truncated appearance in round 9 at Brands Hatch, and this is the view from on board with James at the moment, as you can see. Now in terms of qualifying, Neil set a 2 minutes 7.1 and James a 2 minutes 8.342, and Neil Smith unbeaten in Class E over the course of the year. Interestingly, James Ford got 2 fastest laps at Silverstone, so he was the fastest driver at Silverstone. As we go back to the battling pair of GTVs out of Island Bend, Foley still with the upper hand at the moment. Had a good start, Ray Foley, qualified 7th on the grid, Graham Seeger in 5th, so they've managed to reverse those. But this is Roger Evans out front at the moment, the championship leader, and at the moment he's championship leader by virtue of pole positions, because Roger took pole in A1 at Silverstone and Snetterton, and also the second appearance at Snetterton, the double-header, the second race of the double-header, and also, of course, at Brands Hatch. Now, Neil Smith has, by comparison, actually only had 3 poles, Snetterton and Cadwell rounds 2 and 3, and the current round here at Alton Park. So at the moment, that's the difference on points. So it can come down to the extra point for pole position or fastest lap. Martin Jones busy chasing Andy Inman, but we go back to Roger Evans, who is setting the pace, fastest lap of the race, 2 minutes 2.915 set on lap 2. So he started as he means to go on. There is Clive Hodgkin in Class B, the number 60 car. And then back to car number 70, Andy Brammer and Martin Jones. Martin based in Woking in Surrey. Andy Brammer comes from Doncaster, number 70 car. So again, you get the idea that the drivers, it's not a regional championship. You get some championships in the UK where you get a base of southern drivers or Midlands drivers, but this one's got a very good spread. On board with Andrew once again, and he's going to be very well aware of Martin Jones behind him. Martin in the 145 Cloverleaf, Andy in the 147. And these two at the moment squabbling over 4th position in Class E. So some useful points to be had. 20 points for a win, 18 for second, 16 for third, 14 for 4th place. And Roger Evans at the moment heading potentially for 20 points, plus the one for pole and fastest lap if he can take it. So that'll be a maximum 22. Clive Hodgkin in Class B will get 20 points because Class B just the 2 entrant. So the cars continue racing here at Alton. Join us after the break for more action. Welcome back to Alton Park, round 10 of the BRSCC Alfa Shop Alfa Romeo Championship, and it's Roger Evans that leads the race. He's also in Class A1, the man who won 3 straight races at the start of the season, now running in Class C, and he's looking for his 5th win on the bounce. That run started at Rockingham in round 6, but we go back down the order, not too far down the order. Martin Jones still working hard in the 38 car and chasing Andrew Bramar in the 147. These two in Class E. You can see that wherever you are on the track there's someone to race with, albeit a slower car from a faster class or vice versa. So Martin up over Hilltop, the run down towards the Knickerbrook chicane. Let's see whether he's not really close enough at the moment, is he, to make a move, but Brammer will be well aware as he lifts the wheel going into the chicane that Martin's going to. You can see how hard Martin Jones in the Bianco prepared car is running. Probably a little bit more aggressive in terms of style coming out of that corner, so Martin pushing the harder of the two. 53 Graham Seeger goes through, then Robin Eyre Maunsell and Ray Foley. Now it looks like Martin Jones is beginning to close up, so a nice little battle developing between these two. Over the start-finish line, down into Old Hall Corner, and then this very spectacular run down the avenue, Dentons and Cascades. And Martin's having a look now. Let's see whether he can go past. Well, he's got the inside line here, and he's through. Great manoeuvre by Martin Jones, who passes Andrew Brammer to go into 4th position in class. It's still Neil Smith leading Class E from James Ford. Andy Inman is 3rd, and Martin Jones now up to 4th in class as we go back to Roger Evans in the Peak Alpha sponsored machine. Through Knickerbrook, up Clay Hill, under the footbridge here, and then towards our camera at Druids. Nice flowing right hand corner, and then the run down towards Lodge Corner. And through Deerleaf and up across the line to complete another lap. Roger Evans well clear at the moment of Clive Hodgkin in 2nd place. So Evans winning the Class C battle at the moment over Ray Foley. There is Clive Hodgkin in 2nd place, car number 60. So Clive running well. First appearance of the year for Clive Hodgkin in that car. It looks like he's going to cap it with a class win, which is a great way to start his championship campaign, as it were. I don't think it's going to be a campaign, is it, as we get towards the closing stages of the year, but immaculate livery on that car. Love that to bits. There goes the Class E leader, Neil Smith. So Neil in 97 is over and away, a little bit squirrely there, but back to the race leader, Roger Evans. Nicely settled race. Fastest man at the moment on track is Roger Evans in Class C. The 2 minutes 2.915 holding from lap 2. Clive Hodgkin, fastest man in Class B, 2 minutes 4.124. Neil Smith, unsurprisingly, is the fastest man in Class E as well, at 2 minutes 7. So 5 second difference between the C's and E's here around this full 2.6 mile international circuit. And this is the man who's really setting the pace here, Roger Evans, working his way up towards the back markers. And I suspect in this 20-minute race that he may encounter a little bit of back marker traffic towards the end of the event. We lost Tom Eastwood off the start. Guy Hale went as well in 16, and Chris Snowden we saw go on the first lap. So Clive Hodgkin it is that will try and chase down the race leader. So Roger Evans still there. A man, doesn't matter whether he's in A1 or C, perfectly capable of taking the wins. And the Championship lead 2 points over Neil Smith. Interesting to see the way they play cat and mouse in terms of the point swapping classes. There we go with Neil Smith again, down through Deerleap, having a bit of a lonely race at the moment ahead of James Ford. James 9 or 10 seconds down, so he's not in a position to challenge for the class lead. And Neil's 1:47, 2 litre twin spark running well. James Ford still down behind him, but back to Roger Evans, the race leader. Got this one well under control at the moment, barring any mechanical failure. You've got to say he's going to take it. Qualified third on the grid. So he's outraced Clive Hodgkin in this one. We lost Guy Hale earlier on, of course, in Class A1. So this is the run down from Hilltop into Knickerbrook, the chicane, and from there the climb up Clay Hill. 17 cars in the championship starting this event. Class E once again the best supported of the classes, and Roger will be looking ahead for some of those Class E cars to come into sight as we edge towards the closing stages of the race. 53, Graham Seeger. Has he got a problem? Let's have a look. The GTV, still Ray Foley up ahead of him, and these two not as close as they were earlier on in the race. So Graham Seeger still running at the moment in Class C and running third in class. Ray Foley second in Class C, and heading for 16 points to take away from this round. Race leader continues to build. So Robin Eyre-Maunsell in third place in 44, and it looks like we might have a bit of a battle on our hands here for third place very shortly. Both drivers in different classes. Ray Foley, of course, in C, Eyre-Maunsell in B. Foley working hard for sure in that GTV. The man from Wokingham in Berkshire trying to close down, but Roger Evans again, he's just got his head down. This is an exemplary race for him. 51. And closing up on David Peddy at the moment in car number 10, the blue car that we saw. So he's into lapping territory, as we suspected he might well have done. Andy Brammer in 70 still there, with Martin Jones ahead of him. Martin's kept ahead, but significantly hasn't managed to lose. Brammer, who's going to have a go, and comes offline, looks down the inside line as they come up towards the first corner. So down into Old Hall Corner they go. And those two enjoying a good scrap. Looks like Graham Seeger's lost a little bit of time, but here is Roger Evans, well on his way. David Peddy down behind him. At the moment, Peddy running in 11th place. And that's 6th position in Class E. Sarah Hill's in 7th. So I think we've probably managed to name check all of the drivers that are running in Class E, which is good. But there is Roger Evans in 51, out of Deerleap. And up across the line to take the checkered flag. Roger Evans will maintain a very, very slender championship lead. 2 points over Neil Smith, who surely is going to win Class E. There is Roger waving to the marshals. And the crowd here at Alton that have gathered to enjoy a terrific day's national racing. Clive Hodgkin takes second place. Robin Eyre-Maunsell is going to take third, but Clive Hodgkin, there he is, wins Class B. So here's confirmation of the result. Roger Evans win and fastest lap in Class C. Clive Hodgkin second and wins Class B. Robin Eyre-Maunsell is third. Ray Foley fourth, with Neil Smith again taking another win in Class E. Takes the fastest lap as well. David Peddy and Sarah Heels completing the runners here at Alton Park.
So Roger, brilliant victory. Was that nice and easy in the end?
It looked it, yes, it was all right, yes. I was expecting this man here to come up and catch me, but it didn't happen. So yeah, easy in the end.
And on a circuit like this, on a nice and sunny day, that's exactly what you wanted, really, isn't it?
Well, it could be better.
Okay, well, I'll move over to the man in second position. Clive, you thoroughly enjoyed that, didn't you?
I thoroughly enjoyed that, with the old nail as we call them. Yes, that's a fantastic. I thought Roger's tyres would go off and I tried to keep up but couldn't do it in the end. It's his circuit, he lives near, you see.
Mind you, settling for second place at a place like this is not really a bad thing, is it?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely brilliant.
Okay, well, we'll move over to the man in third position now. Robin.
Hi.
You look like you've had some fun out there as well, haven't you?
Yes, my age is beginning to tell.
But what was it like towards the closing stages when things were getting quite hot?
It was okay. That sod Ray Foley kept coming after me, and I thought he could have the decency to leave me, but there's no way I was going to catch Clive, and Roger disappeared in the distance. But this fella came in from behind. Most annoying.
Well, at least you dealt with it in the end.
In the end, just by a whisker.
Fantastic stuff. And we got one more man who's obviously taken a win in Class E. Neil Smith, do come and join us. Neil, that was a very tight battle in the end, but you just about managed to hang on to things.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm in Emma's car again this weekend, so thanks to Emma for lending it me. But the 147 is a fantastic car. It's a real good handling car, and it seems to suit this circuit. And I've so far managed to maintain my unbeaten record in Class E. So, yeah, very pleased.
So, hoping to keep the run going to the next round?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I mean, planning on staying in Class E now to the end of the season. I've also got a Class A car as well, but planning on staying in Class E. I mean, enjoying it thoroughly, and it's quite nice to be back in the production cars again. It's good fun.
Well, fantastic stuff, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it out there. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Neil's 7th Class E win, 5th fastest lap of the year for him. Championship-wise, just a couple of points down on Roger Evans. Ray Foley in 3rd from James Ford. Graham Seeger 5th. And then Anthony George from Andy Inman, James Thomas, Peter Turvitt and Guy Hale rounding off the top 10. That's it for this edition of Last Lap. Join us next time for the very best in national racing here in the UK.